Welcome to another episode of Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here at the News Forum, where all voices matter. Our guest, Mark Borkowski, returns today to discuss the current climate in mergers and acquisitions. Mark is president of Mercantile Mergers and Acquisitions Corporation in Toronto. Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you, Tony. By the way, congratulations on your outstanding visit to the Calgary Stampede.
Well, thank you. It was a little bit of business, a little bit of pleasure, and a lot of cowboy hats, that's for sure.
Boy, you had a big cowboy hat. You got a lot of friends out in Western Canada. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was great to see a lot of people in the political world, the business world, all of it. They had a record attendance of over 1.3 million people at the Stampede, so the Stampede organizers should be commended. It is the greatest outdoor show on earth by far.
Wow. I wish I was there. I was there. I'll go next year.
Next year. Yeah, mark it on your calendar for sure.
I'm marking it now.
So maybe just to start us off, give us a sense of the current state of the Canadian mergers and acquisitions climate these days.
Tony, there is an incredulous amount of money in the system. In 2019, the U.S. and Canadian private equity and venture capital associations declared that there was $1.1 trillion of what they refer to as dry powder. COVID came and went. You paid your insurance fees, your pension fees, and all that money sits in these funds that has to be put out and invested. The long short of it is now $3.1 trillion, and most of that capital is deployed through the private equity firms. Yeah. They own in excess of 40% of all U.S. companies. Hard to believe. They invest in private mid-market companies. That is the new vehicle for investing. The private firms, the private equity firms manage money for the insurance funds, the pension funds, and they're trying to put money out to get a good return. All of the major pension funds and insurance funds have appropriated larger portions, almost tripled in the last 2 years, going into private equity, acquiring private businesses. State of the mergers and acquisitions market is there's lots and lots of money and not a lot of very good companies to acquire. So there's a lot of frustration in the system. There are, again, typically probably 100 buyers for every possible seller in the marketplace. So there is a lot of money looking for very few good projects to acquire. The market generally is seeking companies of any size, in any dimension across Canada, across the U.S.
Do you have a sense of why there are so few good companies for sale right now?
Well, how many companies in Canada are there? I mean, there's a lot of very small companies which don't attract the attention of any strategic investors, any private equity firms, any family offices. So they sit below the plateau. So those organizations that probably earn less than $1 million of what we refer to as EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, and amortization, they're not a big target. So there's a lot of opportunities below a certain level. Above that, it's incredibly competitive. I mean, I visited with a gentleman who, a large company, been around for like 52 years. He was near retirement. He sat with me and he said, look, I reached out to you because you're active in the metal manufacturing business, among others. He took out a file and he said, these are the companies that have contacted me in the last year and a half or two. I print off every email. I keep every correspondence. So he gives me the file and it was like this thick. Competitor, my competitor, private equity firm, U.S. competitor. It went on and on forever. All of these organizations are reaching out to those companies. There's a limited number in Canada of companies that do over $2 million of EBITDA or of any size in any market. And a great deal of these companies have already been acquired or have been invested in. So there's lots of money looking for very few good opportunities. There must be some good opportunities out there, though.
Oh,
there are some great opportunities, and we're all chasing them. And again, the market is very picky. There are a lot of companies that just don't make a lot of money. Yeah. I mean, nobody's really interested in acquiring anything in the franchise systems today because they don't make any money. These are careers or jobs that they buy. It's a bought job. So the markets like that don't seem to attract any attention from anybody. It's manufacturing today is very hot.
Right.
Anything in insurance, anything in specialized high value services, high value distribution,